All right, so I'm just going to pretend that Monday didn't happen because we had a great week leading up to Monday. My picks for every game video, you can check that out right here on the channel. We had a nice week, but by God, did things get ugly on Monday night. Forgive me for my sins. That was not pretty. I knew the offensive line for the Giants was bad. My 2-year-old probably knows that it's bad, but that was as bad as it gets. The Seahawks came into that game with 5 sacks. Fast forward 3 hours later, they're tied for the league lead with 16 sacks on the year. I mean, there's just nothing that could be done at that point. It was over. I think I fell asleep before the game even ended, just knowing that disaster was imminent at that point. But anyway, I'm Dave Loughran at Loughy_D on the Twitters, LOUGHY_D. Give me a follow if you want to talk some shop. In the meantime, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Even if you plan on fading all these picks and you're just here for that, that's all right too. Leave a comment. Let me know your favorite picks for this week. Where are your leans? Any props you love, favorite sides, totals, whatever it may be. I'm here for all of it. Let's get into it. Washington Commanders, Chicago Bears, the schedule makers have graced us with a disgusting Thursday night football game. But this is why we bet, baby, because it can make these games somewhat palatable. We're going to do it right now. Let's go. All right, so when you look at this game, the Commanders are 6-point favorites, rightfully so, right? 6-point favorites, 44.5-point total. The Chicago Bears had a shot at getting the first win of the season last year, but, expect nothing less of them. Very talented at snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, that Chicago Bears team. They had a 2-score, 14-point lead in the fourth quarter and squandered it, ended up losing by 3 at home. The thing with this team, though, is they can't stop the run. They can't get pressure on the quarterback. They're down Eddie Jackson, Jalen Johnson in the secondary. They're 2 best guys in the secondary for whatever that's worth. They might get Tevin Jenkins back. And I'm going to get, like I said, guys, I'll give you as much information on these games as possible. In the end, feel free to make your own decisions. You're placing the bets, right? So do what you think is best for you. I'll give you all the information and give you my picks. You can do, take with that, what you will. But they could get Tevin Jenkins back, which actually would make a difference. He's a good run blocker, doesn't allow a lot of pressure, and that offensive line has been absolutely heinous to start the season. And on the other side of this game, look at Sam Howell, right? Look at Sam Howell in week 3. Sacked 9 times by the Buffalo Bills. They got routed in that game. At home, blank. Horrible performance from top to bottom, start to finish. Because if Sam Howell's under pressure, you could argue that he's the worst quarterback in the league. Like, that's how bad he's been under pressure this season. By the way, that's not hyperbole and exaggerate, nothing. Like, he's been that bad under pressure. But when the pocket is kept clean, he's actually pretty good, which amazingly, the pocket was kept pretty clean against the Eagles last week. I didn't expect that to be the case. Eagles, we hit them at -8. It closed at -9.5. We got good closing line value, and it took an overtime win for them to get out of there with 4-0 record. The problem with the Bears, though, if you're trying to generate pressure, is the Bears can't generate pressure. This pass rush has been terrible all season long. So when you're looking at it now, you're going, all right, how are they actually going to get pressure on Daniel Jones in a spot like this? Football's weird. From week to week, if you overreact to one week, you're going to end up screwing yourself. Look at the Titans. The Titans get smoked by Cleveland. They come back out and they destroy Cincinnati. Miami drops 70 against Buffalo, comes back out. Everyone, I've never seen an offense like this in my life. They lose 48-20 or whatever it was. Football's a weird sport. So I wouldn't blame anyone for looking at this game and going, hey, Washington, that's too easy. That's too easy. Now, truth be told, I'm in line with the spread for the most part here. It seems about right. Yesterday, we talked about it. We said if we're going to hit this game on the picks for every game, if we're going to hit this game, we'll go Washington -5.5. It's moved to -6 everywhere now. That would be my lean because I think if Howell gets the pocket kept clean, and they should be able to operate fine, getting the ball out to McLaurin, to Jahan Dotson, and running the hell out of it with Brian Robinson. And, I don't see how the Bears stop the run. The question now is, does Justin Fields do enough on his own? Because Washington has struggled with 2 things this season. They've struggled. We talked about this earlier in the week. They've struggled with the long ball, right? The deep passes, and they struggled with mobile quarterbacks. They struggled against Jalen Hurts. He racked up some yards. Even Russell Wilson racked up 50-plus yards. Josh Allen being another one as well. He had a really good game rushing. But I think ultimately, I just can't back the Bears right now. This is not a spread that if this was on the main Sunday slate that I would be hitting. But we're here talking about Thursday Night Football. My lean would be the Commanders -6. Now, I do have some props as well that we can dive into, and I think maybe we can make this work. Before we do, though, as always, guys, listen, you want to skip this part, that's fine. But if you are in the states of Colorado, Virginia, Ohio, New Jersey, Kentucky, or Iowa, one of those 6 states, sign up at Bet365 and get free money. Look, you're probably already on DraftKings and FanDuel and most of the large books. They're not giving you big bonuses anymore. They got you. That's how it works, right? These are businesses competing for each other and specifically for market share in a highly competitive industry. So when they say we want to give you free money, your only thought should be, where do I sign? I threw the link in the description to this and in the chat. You bet $5 on Bet365. You sign up. It takes 2 minutes to verify yourself. So essentially, let's say a 2-minute process, you're making $75 a minute here if you're in one of those 6 states. Put $5 down on whatever it is. A prop tonight, a wicked parlay, which makes sense because it's only $5. Win or lose, you're getting $150 coming your way on Bet365. 1, take advantage of as many sports books as possible so you're always getting the best odds, especially with touchdown props and player props. Also, get free money. Someone puts $150 on your table, says, give me $1. You grab it and you run before they can change their mind. Do this with Bet365 as well. New Jersey, Colorado, Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky, and Iowa. They got you, baby. $5 into 150. Must be 21 years or older to gamble. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, player props here. Now, I think Brian Robinson's a nice place to start. 64.5 rushing yards on FanDuel right now. I went over to our site, oddshopper.com, just to see where the odds were differing. Again, yesterday, if you want to watch this earlier, we got in at 61.5 yards, so this has moved up, but I still think it's a good number. On FanDuel, 64.5 is the best spot. I'm seeing 65.5, some 66.5s out there. I think Washington and Rivera, they call him Riverboat Ron, but he hasn't exactly been taking a ton of chances, not going for it on 4th down or for 2 points the other week against a far superior Eagles team. They end up losing in overtime. But I think if they can, they don't want Sam Howell throwing the ball a ton. That doesn't mean if it's a clean pocket that he's not going to throw. But I think they would love, in a favorable game script, because they haven't seen many of them this year, to run Brian Robinson. And he's the clear bell cow back in this backfield right now. 64.5 yards against the Chicago run defense that has really struggled to stop the run thus far is a nice spot that I would like to get to. And one more that we can talk about. Curious to get your guys' thoughts on this one. And feel free to open up the comments in chat and let me know. Justin Fields' 46.5 rushing yards definitely stands out to me because Wilson, Hurts, and Allen all had nice rushing games. I know that Fields hasn't rushed a ton this year, but are we really to expect that we're just not going to see him utilize his legs going forward? To me, that's not something that's sustainable. I know you don't want to run him into the ground. I know you went out and picked up DJ Moore for those exact reasons, but do you not want to get Justin Fields some opportunity to run the ball in this game? DraftKings has it at 46.5. Where else are we at here? I'm just going over to OddsShopper to see. Points bet 45.5 right now. Even, okay, that's the under, actually. So, okay, there you go. 46.5. Over 46.5 on FanDuel is only -110 right now. Bet365 has a good line on that as well. 46.5 -110. So that's where I'd look. And give me your favorite touchdown props down below. But I want you to give me some guys that aren't just like Brian Robinson. I like Brian Robinson to score today. Don't get me wrong. You can get that around even money. But I'll give you one fun one. What about Darnell Mooney? Now, granted, if you're doing this, you're sprinkling a little bit of change on it. And the only reason you're doing it is because Washington has been brutalized on the deep ball this year. We've seen a ton of big plays deep downfield against this Commanders defense. And Darnell Mooney, in some spots, you're talking plus 250 to score, plus 260 to score. On DraftKings, he's plus 425 right now. Plus 425. I'm going to sprinkle some change on Darnell Mooney. Why? Well, Chase Claypool's out. We already know that. Equanimeous St. Brown stinks. Darnell Mooney isn't getting a lot of targets, but he's on the field for 70+% of snaps. And the only way he has himself a decent performance is going to be if you throw the ball downfield and open things up. Fields is not afraid to do so. Can we get one reception for 40 yards at a touchdown from Mooney against this Commanders defense? Who the hell knows? But at plus 425, vast difference from the market. This is why you always have multiple books, because you bet 10 bucks at plus 250, or you bet 10 bucks at plus 425. You're almost doubling your profits there if it hits. And even if it doesn't hit, who cares? Because over time, if you're getting that value, let's say you only hit 3 out of 10 or 2 out of 10, now you're in the black. Compared to if you're betting them at plus 250 and getting the bad lines, you're in the red. Think about it that way. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Throw your favorite picks down below. Hit me up on Twitter at Loughy_D, and we can keep this one going. And I'll catch you back here for the next one. Peace.